Well, you might talk to God while you're reading a book. Don't you try to tell me that God is a book. Well, you may feel the spirit dancing cheek to cheek, but chasing after cheeks will leave you hung on a hook. You may go fishing in your favorite hole, come home with nothing to say. I tell you, love keeps moving, love keeps moving all day. Well, I used to have some friends, we were a tight little bunch.
Well, I was born in Pennsylvania, and my parents moved here, or not here, but my parents moved to Marquette when I was a baby. Yeah, we grew up, we had woods all in the backyard, and that was kind of my quiet space to go to whenever anything got hectic around the house. I could just take off and go count the birds. Well, it benefits me a lot to be in a quiet place, in a natural place. And beyond that, I think in any one of us, there's this whole wealth of wisdom that we could tap into if we could only get quiet. And one thing I really love about this place is that it is very quiet. It's kind of nestled between these hills, and beyond that, there's no town for many miles. Well, I've seen the fertile valleys, avocados on the trees, and I've danced with happy strangers all aboard the salty seas. Baby, if I won the Powerball, I'd give it all away for the song of the river thrush at the end of a summer day. And I picture your sweet body on the day that you were born, when I met you in the city. Your heavy coat was worn, but you sang a song so sweet and true, of long ago and far away, just like the song of the river thrush at the end of a summer day. There's a bomb inside my bedroom, a fallout shelter in the hall. There's a list inside my pocket, and there's termites in the wall. There's an angry mob outside, oh, but just above the fray is the song of the river thrush at the end of a summer day. The song of the river thrush at the end of a summer day. Now when my life is over and I'm standing on the shore, well, I won't have these dear eyeballs to see your body anymore. But I'll hear your spirit singing if it's a trillion miles away, just like the song, just like the song of the river thrush at the end of a summer day.
Well, I don't know that we noticed too early, did we?
His kindergarten teacher
You did.
told me he had a beautiful voice. And I honestly, I didn't hear him singing around the house that much, so I thought, this is great. You know, I just didn't know.
There was a point at which I realized that music was my calling, I guess, and that was not until senior year of high school, and it was sort of a surprise to me, and I kind of, at that point, my plan was to be a chemical engineer and make all kinds of money, and, but that was sort of became too obvious to deny, so.
I'm really impressed. Yeah, I love to hear you sing, Mike. It's just great.
Yeah, I'll second that. You know, we're his parents, so I suppose we're expected to appreciate his music, but no, it's more than that. I think we're halfway decent critics, and we've loved particularly folk music, you know, going back to the 50s and 60s, the Kingston Trio and the Clancy Brothers, and Mike kind of was raised on that sort of thing.
I can remember being at a piano recital and being terrified, just terrified. Just to play these little tiny saucers or whatever this little tune was. It lasted about a minute, and just sweating, and seemed to remember wearing a slick green shirt and like feeling uncomfortable in it. It's funny.
Yeah, it's good.
You know what I remember, Mike, was when you were in middle school and you were in this jazz band, and we went to this concert, and Mike got up on the stage with his trombone. And I mean, he had practiced around the house a lot, and so that's different when you're on stage and there's all these people looking at you. He got up there, and I said to you, I think, he's playing with his whole body. It's coming out of everywhere. I remember seeing that as just a little kid. And I thought, wow, he's got something going on in there, you know.
It was pretty clear that it was through music that, you know, you're most expressive. It was kind of an eye-opener to us. I guess that's right. I remember that.
Turning around in the dark. Hold on, I know you're listening. Dancing around real slow.
At this point, I can't remember how many years he took lessons, but it's either 3 or perhaps 5. And he lived right in the neighborhood, so he could walk right down here and have his lesson and walk back home again, which was easy for him too, wasn't it, Mike?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, everything was easy except a recital.
The recital. And when I moved up here from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and there wasn't any piano teachers in this township or in this area. And when the word got around that there was a teacher, since then I have thought these thoughts that I had a gold mine, because the people wanted their youngsters to take lessons and not have to run to town to do it, because that was a nuisance.
I always think the piano is good because all the notes are up in a line right in front of you. You get a real sense of how music works. I think people do, you know.
That's right. I remember very distinctly that he didn't want to talk to me.
Oh.
And, you know, he would come in and have his lesson, and I would talk to him, and he'd just kind of smile and never said too much. But I think that he was just maybe kind of basically a shy boy, and maybe didn't even want to be there taking piano lessons. I don't know. But how long did you take lessons? This is about 3 or 4 years?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was 3 years. I'm not sure. I wrote this for on the day of a friend's wedding. It was in the summer, and I wanted to write a song for this guy's wedding for some reason, or this couple's wedding, of course. And I couldn't think of anything, and because they asked me to play, and I was going to play some other thing. But that morning I woke up. It was warm already, and I just went out walking in the woods, and it just all came pouring out. So I was walking barefoot. Called like a sailor out of childhood life, a man and a wife out to sea. When the easy winds blow, they let their sails fill up, share a hot cup of family. They offer a promise to the sea and to each other that there'll never be another hard time. But try as hard as they can, they're just a woman and a man, so they plead from the bottom of their spines, singing, if I'm not strong enough, will you help me? And if I get tired, will you lay me down? And if I can't stand you no more, will you walk out my door, or wait till I come back around? Comes a child to a woman and a man, out of the earth just like a jewel from a stone. No way for us to understand. There's no way to go it alone. But even on a small boat, the two can drift apart, drive a rift in the heart and say, oh, that's just the way it goes. But the fight against the weather turns them green and makes them weary, so they'll come back together again, singing, if I'm not strong enough, will you help me? And if I get tired, will you lay me down? And if I can't stand you no more, don't walk out my doorway. Ooh, please wait. 'Cause I've got to come back